Good morning, you guys. Welcome back to my channel, and if you're new here, my name is Madina and I document my life in dental school and more. So today I am sharing with you guys what exactly an exam week looks like in dental school. So this is actually my very last exam week of my D1 year, which means I am almost done with my first year of dental school. By the way, if you hear me wheezing, I'm so sorry. I have asthma, and for some reason my allergies have really been triggering it this year, and even though it's already June, I don't know, I'm feeling the effects of it. So that's where I'm at today. But essentially I'm going to take you guys through exactly what it's like to go through an exam week in dental school. I've been through quite a few of these by now, so I kind of know my way around the rodeo, but it is actually a really tough week for me also because it's already the first week of June and most dental schools have actually finished for the summer, and so I'm seeing all my dental school friends already on their vacations, relaxing, enjoying nice meals out at restaurants and everything, and I'm just here like, yeah, I still have 2 more exams to take and they're not very easy exams. So I've taken most of my final exams because many of them were kind of dispersed throughout the semester, but I do still have hematology and renal, which has nephrology, left. I mean, hematology is not very lecture dense, but renal definitely is. So that's where we're at today. I'm going to be taking the hematology exam this morning, and then I'll be taking the renal exam probably Wednesday or Thursday. So I'm just gonna get ready for my day. I just showered, brushed my teeth, so I'm just gonna kind of start getting ready, and then I'll tell you guys a little bit about these exams. Okay, so essentially the way that our exam weeks have worked at Columbia is that because we are with the medical school for most of our classes for the first year and a half, which is the first 3 semesters, we have different exam schedules depending on what classes we are taking exams for. So our dental school classes, like preclinical operative dentistry and dental radiology and things like that, we take exams on our own schedule because those classes don't really correlate with the medical school semester. Sometimes those classes will start kind of like a month into the medical school semester and will finish like a month or 2 before the end of the medical school semester, just because there is not as much content in those classes. So we will take those exams whenever that class finishes or is in the halfway point. So that's what we did with dental radiology earlier in March. And that's what we did with preclinical operative dentistry, which I took the final exam for a couple weeks back. Same thing with a psychiatric medicine, which is also a medical school class, but it is also on its own schedule. Dr. Cutler, who's the course director, she actually was very kind enough to separate the psych med exams from the other medical school exams, just to make it easier on the students and not have us study everything at once. So that's why this week we only have the 2 exams left. We did have 3. I did take one on Saturday. It is now Monday. Normally how our exam weeks will work is that we will have, and the exam window will be open from Saturday to Thursday, and usually it's around, like, it used to be 9 a.m. on Thursday, now it's like 11 a.m. on Thursday, and each of our exams is 3 hours long. And so if you really wanted to and you really had the time, what you could do is take the exam on like the last day of the exam window, which would be Thursday. You would just have to start at 9 a.m. in order to finish by the time the exam window closed at 11 a.m. on Thursday. Personally, I don't really like to do that just because I don't want to rush, and I don't want to run the risk of, like, if I start at 8:05, then I'm not going to be able to start the exam and I'll have technical difficulties, because we use a software called Examplify, and essentially Examplify will lock if you start the exam past the allotted time that you have, so that no one really finishes their exam past like the closing of the exam window. So I never wanted to run that risk. And also, I'm not exactly a morning person. I don't know if you guys have noticed in my vlogs, like, a lot of my studying I do during the nighttime. By the way, I can't forget to wash my hands because I just put on self-tanner drops. This is a tangent, but there was one time where I put on like self-tanner and my hands were straight up orange, so I'm gonna go do that after. But essentially I am pretty much a night owl when it comes to my studying. Most of my studying is done at night. I don't like getting up early in the morning because I tend to go to bed very late, and so it's like a very big cycle of like going to bed late, waking up later, just because in general I'm not a fan of waking up early. So that is why a lot of my studying is done at night, and so therefore then I take my exams later in the day. I don't like to take them very early on in the morning, but today I kind of have to, just because I want enough time to review for both exams. And so this morning I'm going to be taking the hematology exam, and then I'm going to get some coffee, eat something, and then study for the rest of the day, and then get ready for renal, which I will probably take on Wednesday night. So I will take you guys along with me and kind of show you everything that goes on and what it's like to take exams in dental school. If you're interested, stay tuned. By the way, if you're not subscribed yet, make sure to click the subscribe button, because even though my dental school year is ending, I still have so many exciting videos planned for the summer, which I'm really looking forward to, because now I'll have a lot more time to film, a lot more time to be consistent. I even want to switch, I know I've probably said this before, but I want to switch to posting 2 times a week at least for the summer, and maybe even beyond summer, so we will see. But yeah, that's where we're at. I will check in with you guys in a little bit. Guess I have 2 coffees today. Stan got me the chocolate cream cold brew, which is actually really good.
And then you have this guy for instead of coffee. It smells like Fritos.
Yeah. Did you guys know, by the way, that dogs have, like, obviously their feet, they walk outside on them, and so basically, I don't know where I learned this, but like the bacteria in your dogs, like, all dogs have bacteria around their like toes. That's normal. But apparently to some people they smell like Fritos. And so ever since Stan learned that, he was like, because one day he picks up Teddy and he's like, did you ever notice that its toes smell like Doritos? And I was like, you mean Fritos? And he was like, yeah. And I was like, yeah, that's a thing. Like, it's actually what the bacteria around dog toes smell like. So if you have a dog, maybe see if it smells like that to you. I don't know if that's gross or weird to talk about. Okay, real talk though, this is exactly what exam week in dental school looks like. Double fisting caffeine. This is actually just blonde roast espresso from Starbucks on ice. I make it in my Nespresso machine, and it's so good without anything. Like, blonde roast is, I think, like my favorite Starbucks roast flavor, just because it's like, it's very smooth and it's subtle. Like, it's, you still taste the coffee, but it's not like overly like hit you in the face like bitter. So I'm gonna have this first, and then I will enjoy my very large chocolate cream cold brew. I just finished going over some of the review questions that our professors provided for before the exam. I went through and I listened to all the explanations, made sure I kind of understood how the mechanisms worked, how the cascades work, and, you know, what kind of deficiencies cause what kind of symptoms. And so I think I am ready to start my exam. So my exam is going to be 3 hours long. This one is a little bit shorter just because we only had about 2 weeks of hematology material. So it's only about 40 questions, but I believe it's going to be a lot of patient cases where we really have to think through them, so it's going to take time to answer the questions. And obviously the exams are closed book, even though we're taking them from home. And you guys will see my reaction, so if in about 2 seconds I am happy, then you know how it went, and if I'm a little bit, you know, how you feel after an exam, then you know that it wasn't great. Okay, so I'm about to get started, so wish me luck. Okay, so I finished my exam and I completely forgot that I was vlogging today. So let's just chat about how it went. So I kind of just like went right back into studying because I do have my renal exam on to take sometime before Thursday. So the heme exam, so it was only 40 questions. Normally, like, our most intense exams will have like 80 to 90. So what I did was I really took my time, and for a lot of questions I kind of gave myself the room to like sit there and sometimes overthink and other times not overthink, and like really, you know, like consider all the options. Like, were certain things where I would immediately think, okay, well that's the answer. Like, I would sit there and kind of overanalyze, which I don't know if it's a good idea. Also, I'm like really red and sweaty. I just realized that. It was like nice earlier today, so my windows are open and my AC is off because my AC makes a lot of noise. but I think I might turn it on. Anyway, so yeah, I kind of like sat there and overanalyzed everything, and so by the time I was done with all the questions, I had like a good 40 minutes left. So what we can do on Exemplify is like flag questions. So I always flag questions that I'm like unsure about, even if it's like if I'm deciding between like two choices and I end up picking one, I'll still flag it just in case. Sometimes in the middle of answering one question, I'll remember the answer to another question. I would like go back and try to add in whatever I missed. That's what I do during the exams. And so for this exam, even though I could have finished with like 40 minutes to spare, I did actually end up going back and changing a couple of answers, just because there were certain questions where I didn't like, it didn't initially click for me, and then I was like, oh wait, like this is the limitation, or like this is the drug interaction, or whatever it was. Like I always, you know, because I'm a tutor on the side, like I've been tutoring kids for like SATs and whatever for years, I always tell my students never to like go back and change their answers unless they're super sure. But I think in my case, like the reason why I changed my answers is because like I actually remember a detail, not just because I think, oh, like there's something wrong with the current answer. Yeah, so I don't know, I'm not like extremely confident about this exam. I'm like never extremely confident about any exam that I finish in 3 semesters of medical school. I don't know if I'm still feeling like the effects of imposter syndrome or whatever it is, but I never like fully feel confident about any exam until I see my score. And then also because the dental school kind of understands it is a little bit of overkill for dental students to learn all of this stuff, they do give us an additional, it's what's called like a small group exam, where it specifically picks out information from each block of like hematology. So this semester with hematology and renal, where it's specifically dental related cases. So like certain medications for, let's say, like hypertension will cause hypoglossa or gingival hyperplasia. So hypoglossa is where you have like a flat tongue, like where it's literally, it looks like you have no taste buds, and then gingival hyperplasia is when you got like really swollen and puffy gums. And so you have to be aware of those things because it does affect how you treat them, because certain things will interact with like dental anesthesia. Sometimes you have to avoid using the anesthesia with the epinephrine. You have to make sure that you know if a patient is on some sort of anticoagulant therapy, because if you're doing like any kind of oral surgery, you know, so that exam actually becomes 25% of the score for the other 2 exams. And so say like for the medical school exams, it's pass fail and we need a 60% to pass. But say that, you know, it was a really tough exam for you and you didn't end up passing, the small group exam with the information from that block that is specifically dental related will be 25% of that score. And so if you get under the passing score, you can still be able to pass because you do know the dental information well. And so for most of us, like we usually aim to get like 100 on the small group exams, just because like that's the stuff that we'll actually see in practice when it comes to these organ systems and in our dental practice. It kind of works out that way. That's my spiel about our exams. So again, until I like see my score at the end of the week, I'm not going to be like fully calm or happy. But what will help is that literally a week from now, I will be heading off to the airport and getting on a flight, because I'm crazy, and you know what, I decided to book a trip for literally the next week after we're done with school. I'll tell you guys about my trip in a little bit, because I'm gonna be doing like a whole travel vlog and like a get ready to travel with me vlog for once I'm done with exams. But essentially it's just, we were supposed to go to Europe, me and Sam were supposed to go to Europe at the end of June anyway, and so we just decided to go a little bit early and just kind of travel around and be able to explore in addition to where we are supposed to be going. So I literally have a flight booked for June 13th. It is now June 6th and our last day of exams is June 9th, and so I'm literally leaving the country for 2 weeks right after, like literally 4 days after we're done with school, because you know what, I need that to like not overthink and not worry about anything. And so once I see my scores, once I know that I've passed everything and I'm done with D1 year, I can fully relax, get on my flight and just chill. But that is not for a week, and I still have one more exam to take. So I do have a pretty busy day tomorrow, so I just want to get as much done as I can today. Renal is much more lecture heavy than hematology is, because hematology was literally 2 weeks of material, renal is 4 weeks of material. So hematology was probably maybe I want to say like 15-20 lectures. Renal is like 40. So I do need to make sure that I review all of them, that I look at the lecture summaries and all that. So that's my plan for today. I might check in later today, but I might just check in tomorrow when I'm kind of done studying. So yeah, we shall see. I hope this is interesting, by the way. Like, I'm just like sitting here talking and describing what it looks like. And you know, for most people, they're used to like, oh, like a bunch of papers, and like they're in school in a lecture hall, and like, you know, they're in, you know, taking their exams in person. Like, this is really what my exam weeks look like: sitting in front of my computer, reviewing everything that I can, and then just putting it all away, and hopefully having everything consolidated in my brain so that I can do well enough on these exams. So okay, so I don't know how it got so late, but it is the next day and I have not vlogged at all. I'm kind of on a little mental health walk right now with Teddy. And I gotta say, I'm not doing too well, you guys. I've noticed this in the last few exam weeks that I've had in dental school, is that like the mind-body connection is so strong, and when I'm mentally stressed, my physical health starts to suffer too. And all day today, I've just had like the craziest headache and just insane back pain. And I've had this back pain issue for a little while now, and I just thought it was like, you know, maybe a herniated disc. I actually do think it's a herniated disc. I just need an MRI to confirm. Look at me self-diagnosing myself. I've had that back problem for a while, but today has just been like really exacerbated, and anytime I like sit down or stand up, it's terrible pain. And I think what caused it is probably me lifting up Teddy, because he looks tiny, but he is actually 27 pounds, and we have to lift him to take him down the stairs at least, because corgis are not supposed to really go on stairs because of their backs. Ironic, isn't it, that I got a back problem trying to save Teddy's back. That's where I'm at today. So I got a couple of lectures done earlier today, but I'm just gonna try to power through for the rest of the night. Maybe take like a 20-minute nap, because it's just, the weather is so gloomy, and it's just a weird, tiring day, and my body's just telling me that I just need to cool it, even though I'm probably gonna have to take the exam tomorrow and I still have a ton of lectures to review. I don't know, I just need to relax a little bit and get it together. Well, it is now midnight. We decided to take some at-home COVID tests because both me and Sam were not feeling the best. I'm feeling worse than he is. And guess what, you guys?
We've got COVID! Woohoo!
Don't say it like that. Where is it? Can you see it?
Sorry. That's gonna get a lot
You
of
kind of see that faint second line. So, disregard everything I said earlier. I don't know. The mind-body connection, I don't know what I was talking about. Obviously this is COVID. I'm now getting it for the second time. The first time I had it was actually December of 2020, so it's been a while. So it's probably a variant that I haven't encountered or been vaccinated for. So yeah, this kind of complicates a few things. I just reached out to my course director's school to try to request an extension for my renal exam, and then we have a flight that we need to get on Monday, and it is Tuesday. So I don't know. The new quarantine rule is 5 days from when you test positive, I think, but I think you have to have like a negative test or like a certificate of recovery in order to board a flight, especially to Europe, especially to Spain. So it's gonna be a headache. Oh, I don't know if I actually told you guys that we're going to Spain. But yeah, it's gonna be another headache that we have to think about. Right now I'm just hydrating, taking my temperature. My temperature tends to get really high when I get sick for some weird reason, so just keeping track of that. I'm very sad. And we might have to like push our flight one day, which is probably not the end of the world. Like, airlines are flexible, hotels are flexible, I'm sure, but I also don't want to feel like I'm in like post-COVID recovery on my vacation. So Hopefully it doesn't hit me too bad, but right now it does not feel great. See, Stan came home yesterday and he was sniffling, and I was like, "You okay?" And he was like, "Oh, it's probably just allergies. It's probably allergies." I was like, "Okay, whatever." Goes to bed. Today, I wake up, and I thought it was just because like I woke up early, I'm tired, and all day today I got these kind of little like aches and pains all over my body. I told you guys about my back problem that I was having, so I just thought, you know, it was getting a little worse, but then it got much worse. And by the time I filmed that earlier segment, it was like 7 p.m. and my legs were just shot, and so was my lower back. And I have this incessant headache that isn't going away, and I do have a fever. Last time I checked it was 100.9, so 101. That's where we're at. Yeah, just my luck. Okay, so we just got back from urgent care. I'm feeling much better today than I was yesterday, but it is COVID, y'all. It's kind of crazy. So yesterday was, I guess, the worst of it. I had a lot of like body aches, I had a fever, I did have a sore throat. I still woke up today with a sore throat, but this morning I woke up and kind of the rest of the symptoms were really gone. I do have a little bit of wheezing because I do have asthma, so the wheezing has just been there. So that's part of the reason why I decided to go to urgent care today, is because I do want to make sure that I'm like okay, that my lungs don't have like, you know, crackles or fluid accumulation or anything like that, just, you know, crazy COVID things. Sorry if you hear me wheezing. But basically I went to urgent care today and I got a rapid and a PCR done. So the rapid was positive, so you know, that's where we're at. And then the doctor saw me and he kind of listened to my lungs, and he was saying how because my symptoms are very mild, I don't need to get any other like additional COVID treatments done, including the COVID antiviral or the monoclonal antibody infusion, just because even though I'm in a group of risk, he doesn't believe that like my symptoms warrant that kind of treatment, just because I am very mild today. Like I feel it on myself. Like, he did give me like a steroid medication for my asthma. He said that like if I'm wheezing a lot and the asthma pump, the albuterol, isn't helping, like that I should take the steroid. So I just picked that up at the pharmacy. I did notice that when I was walking, it's really hot today in New York, so when I was walking in the mask outside, you know, it was a little bit harder for me to breathe, just, you know, normal COVID side effects, I guess. But I gotta say, honestly, I don't know if it's like the variants have gotten milder or if this is the effect of being vaccinated, but the first time that I had COVID, which was in 2020, was so much worse. I was like laid out for like a good 10 days, like, and even afterwards I had like significant like long COVID symptoms. Like I still felt fatigued for like a month afterwards. Like I couldn't be at work for like 10 hours anymore. Like I had to take a lot more breaks. You know, even a long walk would kind of wear me out during that time. And right now, like, it's been one day. Like yesterday I tested positive, and today I'm still feeling it. Like I still have a really sore throat. I'm getting like my wheezing from my asthma that's being exacerbated a little bit, but aside from that, physically I'm okay. So honestly, I gotta say, like, I'm so thankful to live in a country where, you know, medicine has advanced so far. Even though COVID is not going away anytime soon, I'm glad that it's becoming more so something that treated as well as, you know, the common cold or the flu, because, you know, it wasn't always like that, and the first time I had it was really bad. So that's the situation today. I'm gonna try to get some work done and studying done. I was, thank goodness, able to get an extension from school for my last exam. Honestly, I gotta say, like, shout out to Columbia, because this is the second time that I've gotten sick around exam time, and they have, all the professors have been so accommodating and so sweet. They're sending me like messages saying, you know, we hope for like a quick and like very low symptom, you know, recovery, and that, you know, just let us know whenever you're ready. Like, no one's pressuring me, no one's pushing me to like take the, like, no, you have to take the exam by Thursday. Everyone could not be more kind and supportive, and I have to say that that's one of my favorite things about my school, is that they really do care, and that if you're in a situation where you are, you know, sick and you're not feeling well, they will never prioritize, you know, school over your health. They will always put the student's health first, which I really appreciate. So just wanted to shout that out, because it's something that's not small, you know, especially in medical school and dental school where burnout is so high. It's something that I really appreciate. So